Hello, it's Simone. I am here with inky thoughts. And I don't really know where this video is going to go because, stream of consciousness, videotaping and such. I am thinking about which pens I want to ink up in August. And so I thought I'll take you along on the thought process. This is what is currently inked at the moment. I haven't filmed my review video yet because I wanted to think through this first before I actually sit down and talk about each of the pens. And in that video, I also think I would love to know which pens are going to be uninked. So let me just pull them all out and put them right here and quickly talk about some things that I noticed this month in July. And maybe that's just July specific or summer specific, or this is something that I'm going to have to deal with all year long. If you're not aware, I just recently moved here. I came from the Bay Area where we are, let me check, because I put it somewhere, at 16 feet above sea level. And now I'm at a place where I'm 5,213 feet above sea level. And then the climate has changed as well, which I did not really expect to be so drastically. It's about, from my experience here and the week that I have been tracking temperature and humidity, it is about 10 degrees warmer at any given daytime. I'm not that particular about recording the temperature and humidity at both places, so I can compare at a specific time, because then I probably wouldn't be able to do it. But I just want to get a feel for it because, I never gave any thought to how humid it is where I am or how hot it is. It was hot. It's hot here, so it's basically the same, but it is not. It is about 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer here at any given time of day. And it is about, so I have the one day I recorded humidity, it was 28% humid here, 69 there, 31, 71, 10, 35, 14, 40, 22, 62, 15, 56. So basically humidity is between 50 and 70-ish% in the old place, and between 10 and 30% humidity here. So, of course, it is much drier. And I noticed that, especially with this pen, when it was basically empty, when I hadn't even written with it. So I'm not going to change anything in August, but I'm going to observe that aspect of my fountain pen usage. And I'm considering maybe inking up less pens, but more frequently. So right now, that's a lot. Like, how many are these even? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's way too many. I'm not journaling and using my pens in such a frequency that this warrants having 12 pens inked. There are going to go some, and I know exactly which ones those are already. But yeah, the thought would be maybe having 6 and then changing them out more frequently. What I really enjoy doing is having about 10 pens inked and then inking 5 this month and carrying over 5 from last month. So that basically I have each pen is inked for 2 months, but there's still going to be some change every month so that it's not getting too boring, if that makes sense. It does make sense. I shouldn't use that phrase because it sounds like I'm stupid. I'm not. So there are some pens that I refilled that I'm going to carry over. There are some pens that are still quite high with their ink levels in the cartridges or converters, or, well, no, I'm not carrying over. Oh, well, this one, or the piston. So those I'm carrying over, and I wasn't sure, or I'm not really sure how the color story is going to work out, but right now I'm not even worried about that. So I'm going to unink this one. This one has been inked for almost 3 months. I refilled it. This one is going to go. There's like basically nothing left. This one is really saddening because I just inked it up in July and I filled up the converter basically all the way and it's empty. So I really love using this pen, as you can see, but this only lasted me for this month. This one I refilled. This one is still quite a bit left. I can't really see this is a sheening ink, but if I looked at it last night and I think there's like this much left. So this will last me for a little while longer. Then I'm going to talk about this some more later. This one is actually empty. There's like, yeah, I can write with this some more, but this is basically empty too. So this one's empty already. This one is going. This one I only filled a little when I shared it on my YouTube channel, but I think it's okay. I wasn't sure if I liked this ink, and I think I will have quite many colors in the pink and reds. So if this is going to go out sometime during the month, that's going to be okay. I wanted to look at these two more closely. This one is still like basically half the piston is still filled. I really enjoy this ink, and so I'm just going to move it forward. So I have 4. This one, I don't enjoy the color of the ink. It has a really, when it dries on Tomoe River paper, it has a really green tinge, and it looks super sickly to me. And so even though there's still some left in the converter, I'm going to get rid of this ink. And then these two are both, let's check here. There's basically half the cartridge left. I really like this color. I like using this pen. And so I'm going to move it forward with the knowledge that this might run dry sometime during the month of August, or whenever I'm going to write with it, or whenever I'm going to film another video. That's what I'm talking about. This one, I didn't fill up this is really hard to check the converter because it's basically all the way in. Oh yeah. I'm just going to leave this because this will give me the chance to compare 2 colors from Robert Oster that I thought are pretty similar, but I don't think they are actually as similar as I imagine them to be. So this is what I'm going to move forward. These are going to be cleaned at some point later this week sometime. And then my friend Amy sent some ink samples to me, and because of that, we got chatting and we came up with the idea that we would pick inks that I would have probably samples of, or we both had bottles of, and we would use the same inks, but not you pick the same pens, and compare our experience using those inks. And so we both picked these 5 inks. These are new to her and me. she just brought those back from Japan and shared samples with me. And then this one, I took a sample in September of 22. This one she sent me in February of 2023. And this one came in an ink flight in March 23, but I think she has a bottle of this ink and she really likes that color. So that worked. And then, yeah, and then this one, I really wanted to use this. And so since she sent me the sample, I knew she had that. So this is the inks that are coming. And the pens that I'm thinking of using are the following, and I'll give you my reasoning for those right now. So the first one I thought of, even though these colors don't really match, I don't care. There's probably some color in here in these confetti things that are working with this, but I wanted to have an ink in here that wasn't super wet because this pen is really wet, and I wanted to have a pink in here so this would work. I'm not sure who made this ink, but I know that Lamy inks sometimes are pretty dry. But if this was made by Kobe, then maybe it's not as dry as I'm imagining it to be. But we will figure it out when we get there. Then I do have more new pens in my stash. I want to use the broad nib on this one. This is new. I just recently unboxed this in a video from Atlas Stationers, and I think I'm going to put Metamorphosis in here. I've used this Traveler's Company pen with carbon black ink in the beginning of the year, and I inked it, I think, in May. But I really want to see how it feels when I use this for journaling with a colored ink. And so I thought this was the only ink that was left, so I decided to put this in here. I did some research first, checking out whether these inks were particularly dry or particularly wet. I didn't find anything that said super dry, so I'm not super concerned with putting this ink in here. However, I'm gonna reserve the right to change it because in my personal experience, Robert Oster inks have mostly been really dry. Maybe that's because I just used the colors that were dry. Not sure. And then I want to use another new pen that I haven't even put together fully because I flushed it. This one just came in the other day. It's the Atlas Stationers exclusive Bennu Euphoria Gold Coast. This is so pretty. And even though this, again, isn't a good color match, I want to see, this one is a glitter ink, shimmer ink, and you can't really see it settle in the bottom of the ink vial, which I thought was really interesting. And I want to use this in here because I don't want to risk it. And the only other pen I really want to use again this month in August is the Pilot Custom 823. I want to put another ink that is not green in here, and so I decided to put this in here. So I need to clean this still first, so this is going to take a while until it's going to be ready. But I think I really like this, and then I have all of those. So I have 3 gold nibbed pens and then lots of steel nibs that are writing. This one I'm going to explore. I haven't used a Lamy broad nib, I think, ever. Not 100% sure. These are both mediums. There's lots of mediums in here, and I hope that I will be able to take all 5 of those with me to the San Francisco Pen Show so that Amy, which I will be meeting there, can try those and see if she likes them in my pens better than in her pens. She already said there was an ink that I probably wouldn't like, but we will see how that is going to work out. And now let's talk about the colors, which is, I think it's a bit different for me. Oh, I think these are 5. So this is going to give me 10 pens that are going to be inked up for the month of August, which is 2 less than I had in July, which I didn't even realize that I had so many pens inked. And maybe, well, in September, I'm going to do 30 inks, 30 days, which then I won't have any of those pens inked, I think. I'm not even sure I'm going to do that. We'll see. We'll figure that out when the time is coming. So maybe at the end of August, I'm going to unink all of those and then just do 30 inks, 30 days and start fresh in September. I haven't really thought about that. And maybe that would be actually, like, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that would be a cool thing to do. Do 30 inks, 30 days with a different ink and pen every day. Do not fall, please. And then I could start October with 8 pens and see how that works, if there is a difference. Well, we will see. So now these are the inks that I have in the pens that are already inked. So it's like there's these 3 pink reddish inks. This one is also basically like a really dark one right here. Then I have blues like there. This one is the only one that is green, but you know, I can't help myself. I'm expecting another new pen, and I also have a new ink bottle that I really would like to try, and the only swatch that I have right now to share with you is Troublemaker Hanging Rice, is this one. And that would probably fit really well in the pen that I'm getting, so I would love to try that. Maybe I'll add that here when there is an ink that is running out, so then I'm back to 10. And then I have these 2, which are really close. This one looks a little bit more orangey than this one. This one looks a little bit more yellow. I'm really curious to see how different they are. I just recently had 2 very similar inks inked in, it was James Purdy & Sons single malt. Was it a Mont Blanc ink? James Purdy & Sons single malt. And Dominant Industry Earl Grey tea. One was a orange leaning brown and the other one was a very bright orange. And that didn't work out really well in favor of the single malt because I preferred the Earl Grey tea so much more. So I'm wondering if this is going to happen with this one or if they're different enough. Well, if I'm looking at it right here, the writing looks very different. It's just a swatch that is, well, not even. Who knows? We will see. And then I still have this one right here. And that's okay, I think. I think this is okay. What I didn't notice when I inked up this pen the first time around, not at all, not in the sample vial, nothing. I did not notice, and now that I'm looking at this right here, you can totally see the shimmer. I thought in the beginning that it just rubbed off from somewhere else. This is a shimmer ink. Didn't know that. Haha. So this is my color story, which is definitely not really a rainbow. I'm now following the order. When you put all of this in Fountain Pen Companion and go to your currently inked, you can sort it by the color. And that's how I'm writing it down in my analog system. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It feels really good to be talking about it. I already mentioned that I couldn't resist another fountain pen, and I'm really amassing a lot. And I also don't feel like I do not want to not use or keep any of those. which if you had talked to me about this in May, I would have been so worried and nervous about getting even more and more pens. But the pen that I'm getting right now, I purchased, well, it's because you are all using the Atlas affiliate link, which I'm super grateful for, because it lets me experiment with so many things, especially pens, and right now, especially nibs. I ordered an Esterbrook SD, which I, like, a week ago, I felt like I'm not going to add any SDs anytime soon. But then I was browsing with the knowledge that I had some affiliate money, and I saw that they had the Techo nib, which is a specialty grind by CY of Tokyo Station Pens. And I've been really, really, like, absolutely, really, really loving this reverse architect grind by Kirk Spear. And I was super intrigued by that grind, because if you change the angle, I will talk about it when I get it. If you change the angle, the writing angle, you can change the broadness of the nib. So this would give me even more line variation, and I'm all about that right now. So I ordered that pen in a colorway that isn't really my thing. So I'm really looking forward to what my feelings are when I actually see it. Maybe I'm positively surprised. I've also thought that I would just try the nib and then maybe replace it. How do you feel about that? And then maybe pass it along to someone else, so that I can get a SD body that I enjoy more. I'm going to wait and see how that looks. But yeah, that's what I'm expecting in the mail next week sometime. So when that gets here, I'll reevaluate if there is a pen that needs to be cleaned out. It just happens like more frequently now that my pens are dry because of the dryness of the surroundings. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about, and I'm gonna show you my fountain pen pile right here. So I'm gonna put them all away into this, which is already cracking at its seams. So I'm glad I'm using a different pen case for all the inked fountain pens, because then they still all fit in here. But yeah, I might need another storage solution soon for my fountain pens, because look at how full this is. So there's one space left right here. I'm putting all of the Euphorias together. This one right here. And then this traveler's pen can go here. What other pens are empty right now? This one is still empty. Ooh, these are all inked. And then so this one can go in here. So then when I unink all of the pens, this one is going to be uninked, but this one is going to be used. Unink, unink. This one is empty as well. I don't think I even talked about this because I emptied this one out last night. I wasn't even able to write the summary in my, what is that called? My ink jotter right over here. So these are going to be cleaned, but this will be used again. So if I want to put in 5 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the space that I have here. Oh well. So this is going to overflow, but that's okay. I can deal with it later. And yeah, I haven't even filmed a video about this yet because I don't really know how to approach this video. Actually, this is a pen a viewer sent me because she does not like it at all. It's a Sailor Progress Slim. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the Autumn Sky colorway. It has a medium fine nib, as many of the Progress Slim models do, and she does not like it at all. And so it is inked with an ink, which I don't know what it is, but you can see it right here. Ooh. Okay. There is still some ink here. I'm thinking of maybe filming a video where I'm showing you a writing sample and then maybe cleaning it, uninking it, and maybe trying Waterman Serenity Blue ink just to see how it writes with a reliable wet ink. And then maybe flossing the tines. I already booked an appointment with Kirk Spear from Penrealm, and maybe I'm just going to take it to the pen show so that he can tune it for me and make it a lot wetter and smoother. That would be an option. I don't know yet, but I'll film along my experimentation process. But again, I still have so many ink samples I want to swatch and film along. I have the yellow inks. I do want to host a giveaway, which I've been talking about since forever. And so I have so many video topics that I probably can fill like 2 months of videos just with the ideas that I have or the material that is still around here, which I'm trying not to think about because that really gets overwhelming really fast. So I think that's all I wanted to share with you today. I hope to see you soon. This is going to be a video that is being able to be watched by my Ko-fi followers. So it's not behind a paywall, but I'm going to unlist it on YouTube. And so the only way you can get to the video is through the Ko-fi, in the hopes that it will draw more people to my Ko-fi. But then if I don't put content on there, let me just do this, say goodbye, and I will see you soon. Until then, bye.